great support line. We know where the stock's going to bounce off a little bit if it falls back on down. And where does this stock think it's going to be going? Well, it's going to be running most likely right up to the 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average is 437. That's the ultimate goal today, right? So what we have right here is 437. That is the ultimate trading goal today, and that is the 200-day moving average, which we want to get up to. All right. Also, let me just help out right here. White Diamond again. Always set up supportive whenever you guys need any sort of help with anything. So again, White Diamond just got a new phone. Can you give me the link to the mobile? Please talk to one-on-one support and they can provide it. So as always, guys, if you guys ever have any sort of questions have to do with links or chat or membership wise, always hit up one-on-one support, chat support, bottom right hand corner, and they can always help you out. As you guys know, I just always want to keep it stock related, especially kicking off the day right in the beginning of the morning right here. So right now, again, SVRA, this stock is taking on off. This stock is bringing some good activity, and this stock has room to run up to what point? 440, 200-day moving average. Just said 437. Now it's at 440. The 200-day moving average will climb or will drop depending on what the stock does, because it's the moving average of that play. So SVRA. Some of you guys have been seeing this play since the very start. I mean, this thing has been a monster so far. It's gone from 185 all the way up towards around that 387 mark, right? Which is absolutely great. So far, this is picking up. This is, again, a penny stock that probably nearly every single person here can afford, as this play is only at $3. So, every single person can afford this stock. And we still got another 50 cents left on it. If you're saying, Deck, can I hop in right now and look for a little bit of volume? You can, but as always, be cautious. The stock did just go from 180 to almost up to $4. Do we have any sort of significant red candles, any sort of significant pullback? Not yet, no. So it will be coming. Now, will that be coming from right now, or will that be coming after it hits that 430 mark? I mean, that's going to be a little bit of a tough call. So I know, again, it's very hard not to want to get in on SVRA right now because the stock's moving, people are making money, it's coming up to $4, room to run up to 430. But then again, you also have to judge how high can this go without having a pullback, as we just ran almost about $2 so far. So right now, SVRA, here's the $4 touch and the little $4 break. It's still trying to move up towards around that 430-ish area. So SVRA still beasting at this moment. Pullback mark is still all the way down towards around that 320-ish mark. And if the stock does drop at the start of the day, that's probably where I'm going to be looking for my bounce play, right? So that's going to be where I'm going to be looking for my bounce play back down towards around that 320-ish mark. Right now we're testing $4. Again, we have about 30 cents more that we can climb on the stock. I don't want to just be straight focused on SVRA. I do want to also be aware of SLGL, right? Now, again, let's go over our press releases today. Like, what's making SVRA go on a nice spike? What's making SLGL be up 109%? But little side note right here. Little side note, as these are the top two that we want to 100% focus on, right? We have SVRA right here, right? Obviously, it has a lot of big time potential. And then SLGL has a lot of big time potential. And why do we say that? Well, the stock is up 130% here, and we have SLGL, which is up 111%. Then we have a massive drop to where? We have a massive drop to 22%, 16%, 15%, 13%, right? So that's what that's kind of the crazy thing about it is we don't really need to focus on probably too much. NIO, DTSS, SITO, SAVA, are they still on watch? Yes, but should we be looking at them at the bell? Most likely not. Right? And why don't we need to look at them at the bell? Well, because 90% of traders are going to be looking at the stock that is up 129% or the stock that's up 113%. Right? People don't just skip the top, 132% gainer and go, oh, let's look at a 13% gainer, right? I mean, ONTX, clicking this has an awesome chart setup. Don't get me wrong, right? Awesome chart setup, 13 EMA, 50-day moving average squeeze. SAVA is a previous top gainer, previous supernova play. Do we want to watch it throughout the day? Yes. But at the bell, where do you think people are at? SVRA. What's going on with SVRA? Why is this stock even up? Where's the credibility behind this play? Well, SAVA, the credibility behind this play is it had breakthrough therapy designed for its molgradics and its treatment of autoimmune pulmonary alveolar protesis, right? So what we only need to know about is what? breakthrough on their treatments, right? And that's what we look for, right? Keywords in our hot press releases. We make it very simple. We make it very, very easy right here when we have our 3-star words, right? Breakthrough, we have treatment right here, and that just brings in a lot of great hype. That brings in a lot of great momentum. So we don't need to know, again, what autoimmune pulmonary alveolar protesis is, right? We don't need to know any of that. We just need to see that we have granted breakthrough therapy on its treatment, right? And just like that, we can simplify it and we can see the credibility behind it. Now, SVRA, this is a little bit of a shocker on how well it's moving with how big and float it is also, right? SVRA, this is Trade Ideas has it as 34 million in float. We will double check this over on Yahoo Finance. This is 27 million in float. Not that big of a difference, but at the same time, it is a little bit lower at 27 million in float. But this thing has just been moving. This thing is moving like a 2 million in float stock, right? With how nice it's moving, how big it's moving, the stock has gone from $2 all the way up towards that 418 mark. We only got about 10 cents left until we get up to that 200-day moving average. Now again, now we're only here we go. Keep going on up right here. 430 coming on up, and then 437 200-day moving average. So right now we're having a little bit of resistance at around that 420-ish mark or 425-ish mark. Here's 425, 200-day moving average, still trying to get to the top. There's a break of 425. And now again, what you definitely be looking for is a little bit more towards around the bounce area. But this stock has just been absolutely taking off this morning, absolutely taking it off. And we did see a pretty, strong mob shift from everyone that was over on SLGL to what now? Everyone going over to SVRA, right? So SVRA has a lot of attention, has a lot of hype, has a lot of momentum towards it. SLGL, let's not forget about it though, right? I know again, everyone wants a piece of the SVRA cake. But SLGL, let's not forget about this one because this one did do what? It went from $10 and spiked all the way up to $30. This went on a $20 climb, right? And again, a lot of people aren't really focused on it. What's kind of more impressive? A $20 climb or a stock that has moved $2, right? A $20 is a little bit more impressive. Or again, you could, kind of reverse that and say, well, Deck, what's a bigger percentage, right? Is SVRA 139% more impressive or SLGL with only 119% more impressive, right? Well, again, you do got me there if you want to stay that argument, right? But again, we are comparing a $20 climb compared to a $2 climb. But what is leading SLGL to get that move? Well, if we want to check that out, SLGL, we can see December 30th. This is as good as it gets, as you guys know. Announces positive top line data on phase 3, right? We have met primary endpoints that were achieved, guys. You guys already know. Phase 3, positive data, endpoints right here, everything along these lines. It just, an awesome press release. And that's why, again, when you see these awesome press releases, what do we get? We get $20 spikes. We get $20 climbs, right? So, that is absolutely great, right? That is absolutely great to see SLGL come out with positive phase 3 trials. And that's why we had this great rip, this great run, this great pop. We do have a little bit of resistance right now, right around this 2150 mark, which is why the stock keeps getting held on up. But SLGL is definitely trying to come up and break through that 2150. Let's see, it's trying to get a little bit more action here over on SLGL to break through 2150. And again, this used to be a really nice support line. So if you want to change this, you guys could see it a little bit easier like this. Notice bounce play 2150, bounce play 2150, then it cracked 2150, came up to 2150 resistance, come up to 2150 resistance, come up to 2150 right now. You can see it on the bottom level too, right? And it's trying to break through this line, right? And then that's going to be holding it, as a new support line if it could break through. So SLGL trying to break through 2150 to get that pop back on up and keep on progressing, right? So we do have two stocks. Both of them, great news. Both have great news, right? One has a positive phase 3 trials. One has breakthrough approval for its treatment, which is awesome, right? After that, what do we need to know? Well, since both these stocks are moving on up, little sign out, SLGL just broke through 2150. Let's see if that can hold now. So both stocks are moving on up. How high can SLGL go? Well, first off, it needs to break through 2150. After it breaks through that, $24 would be next. So after it can get through that 2150 mark, $24 would be that next resistance line. All right. After that, it's all the way back up near the highs. Okay. We also have SVRA, where we know what already. SVRA, our ultimate profit target that we want to get, and I'll put this in green as this is basically the money area we want to see, is going to be where? That 200-day moving average, right? We did come up right around to the 200-day moving average, but we have not touched it yet. Right now, again, the stock does have a little bit of support. Where? A little bit of support right around that $4 mark. And then we have kind of our main support all the way back down towards around this 350-ish mark. Right? So we have our main support all the way back down towards around this 350-ish mark, which could be a nice little bounce play area. Right? Now, what would be my concern? Because I talked about, again, great spikes, both stocks up 130% plus. Both stocks, again, have great news towards them. My main concern would be what? It would turn into like an SAEX. And what do I mean by an SAEX? The stock went from 145, opened up at around 440. All it did was turn into a massive red candle, right? Where the stock again, just dumped on off. I would say probably one of these plays are probably going to do that. Probably either SRVA or SLGL is probably going to turn into just a big red candle back on down. And why is that? Well, because again, the stocks are not going to be able to hold up 139% gain forever, right? Could they spike on up today? Yes, but eventually they will come back on down. And sometimes when we open up on these stocks up so big, everyone says, hey, I'm going to lock in my profit. And let's say Susie locks in her profit. The stock falls a little bit. Then Anthony locks in his profit. It goes a little bit down. Matthew locks in their profit. A group of traders all see this. Now they all lock in their profit. And just as fast as we climb on up on SAVR is just as fast as it comes back down as we have a pure momentum shift, right? So we do need to be aware that these stocks are up very high already. We need to be aware that these plays, they are up on good news, but they can have that momentum shift that could come back on down. Now, regardless, even if they do come back down and start falling, I do think what? I do think these plays are going to have nice bounce areas. People aren't just going to dump and forget about the number one and number two top gainer. They're going to try to keep it alive. So we can look for bounce plays on these stocks. Even if they do turn into one of those big red candles, people aren't just going to leave the number one top gainer. They are still going to look for what? Bounce plays and bounce opportunities. Okay? So SVRA and SLGL, both top plays. Both stocks are a near resistance at this mark. Both stocks are going to have bounce play opportunities. SVRA is going to be down towards around 345, and SLGL, that stock has been having support down towards around this 1875 mark. So I could put a little bit of support right here, and when we know we have 2150 behind that. So these are the two stocks, of course, we want to focus on. Now, is there anything else we want to look at? Well, again, after these plays, if there's nothing there, we will want to keep our eyes peeled on SAVA. SAVA, this was a top gainer all last week. Insiders bought over 100,000 shares total so far on SAVA. Anything above $6, where it's at right now, definitely is going to bring in some momentum. I mean, SAVA went from 163 all the way up towards around that 550-ish mark. Coming all the way up towards around that $6 area, that's, again, a very nice gap and a very nice jump. So again, we want to see if SAVA is going to be able to continue to get that momentum, continue to get that hype all the way up towards that area. So again, SAVA has a lot of potential to hold $6, run up to 650, and maybe continue to move on up as this was a top gainer last week and has a lot of insider buying, right? So we want to be watching that one. ONTX, also a little guy right here. But look at that perfect squeeze pattern. ONTX, guys, what do we have? 50-day moving average coming across the top, 13 EMA swooping across the bottom, room to run up to the 200-day moving average. What do you want to call this? A masterpiece pattern, an 80-20 pattern, whatever you want to call it. Again, it's a perfect textbook setup right there. Right? ONTX 5 million in float, perfect squeeze pattern. Just needs some sort of news to get that play going, and ONTX could really take on off. Break of 50 cents, that stock could look really good. So I like ONTX as well. Maybe keep that on the back burner. Also, BLIN had an earnings report that came out on Friday, and this stock is a 2 million in float play. It was having a decent gap up this morning, up towards around 240. Now it's only around 207, but I would keep this one on your back burner as well. But these plays, again, if you're asking for a list or anything, these plays are, again, all right here. Deckmore Trades Morning Watch List. And we go through this really quickly. And again, I don't mean to say more stocks to confuse you guys at all. I just want you guys to be aware of them all. So number one and number two, no matter what I say, is SLGL and SVRA, which we're going to be watching. But let's go over the other news we have. AXSM, very big stock all the way. It was up at 120. This stock came out with a positive phase 3 trials meeting its endpoints. And AXSM went from 102, spiked up to 122. It did fall back on down, but if you guys do have the funds, which probably most of you guys don't, but if you guys do have the funds, you can look at AXSM. We already went over, again, the next one. BLIN had an earnings report, only 2 million in float, above all indicators, and room to run up to the 200-day moving average. So make sure you guys are watching that. CHEK had positive results, but really no volume in that play right now. Unless that stock starts breaking like $2, it's not going to bring in too much volume. But then it has 209 200-day moving average right above that. So honestly, I would cross off CHAK. I just think it's not going to happen today. MAXR, again, MAXR came out with an agreement press release. A little pop on up, but once volume started moving in, it was more towards the selling side. LGL, you guys already know, positive phase 3 data. And then SVRA, this stock, breakthrough therapy design for its treatment. So these are all the press releases. Again, as I said, some of the top gainers from last week that you would want to watch that could possibly get some momentum. SAVA, if this can hold on up. How's ITRM doing? ITRM, this was a top gainer last week. If this stock ever starts getting any sort of momentum, it could possibly just start getting some hype towards it. So we definitely want to be watching that. PT was a big top gainer last week, where the stock, went from 120 all the way up towards around $3. It's starting to fall. Don't really need that one. I think XRF is also falling. We'll see if this could U-shape back on up at all today. And then MBOT, MBOT's starting to drop on off. So we do have some previous top gainers that you want to be looking at as well. I will take a little bit of a quick little screenshot right here, just so you guys are aware of these plays. I'm just going to post this right in chat for you. I know, again, you guys, everyone should have their morning newsletter. If you guys don't, please talk to one-on-one support chat, blue circle in the bottom right-hand corner, as they will be more than happy to help you guys out. But I just want to make sure that you guys are all good. Let's take a little bit of a morning poll, though. Let's say what's going to be better. Is SVRA going to be better, or is SLGL going to be better? Let's see what you guys are thinking, right? Because both these stocks, have some great potential towards it. One has a $20 spike. The other one has a $2 spike. SVRA is higher with 137% gap up, more penny stock volume. But SLGL, we know that thing could start ripping dollars soon. So what stock will do better today? Because maybe one of them is just going to drop on off hard. Let's see where you guys are thinking. Where should we focus on? SVRA or SLGL? All right, so everyone go ahead, cast your vote, and we'll see where everyone is at. I just want to get ready to rock today. All right, so give me one moment here. Everyone go cast your vote as well. All right, give you guys about 10 more seconds here to cast your vote if you guys have not yet. Give you guys about 10 more seconds to cast your vote. And let's see what everyone's thinking in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Share the results. Stop the poll. 63%. 63% right here is leaning a little bit more towards SVRA. So that's definitely where we're going to want to be focusing on. And I definitely like that. I think I'm going to be looking a little bit more for a bounce play, but SVRA may just try to shoot right on up to that 200-day moving average. So we do just want to be ready for that. That could, possibly run right up to that 200-day moving average. SVRA, we're going to switch over to about a 2-minute time frame. Again, we have a couple different areas of support right here. We can also add the VWAP, right, to get another area of support. VWAP's down towards around that 350-ish mark. Well, let's see what's going to happen. Again, the money line, that 437 mark is, coming on up. Let's see where we are going to be at. Market opens up in about 7 seconds. Hey, let's have an awesome day ahead, guys. Very excited to see what's going to be coming on up next, and I'm looking forward to an awesome day ahead. So market is now open. We are kicking off this day. Right away, SVRA hitting that 200-day moving average. SVRA hitting that 200-day moving average right away. But this is where, again, people are just pushing on up right at the start right here. And we're going to see if this is going to be able to hold above now this 435 mark. So there's the quick pop right at the start as traders, came running over towards the stock, seeing if the stock was going to get any sort of momentum towards it. And look at this, still going, still trying to get some hype, still trying to get a little bit of momentum over there. So 475, where do traders want to get this going to next? Traders are going to try to push this to $5 next. So again, traders want to see that $5 mark. We already broke through the 200-day moving average. Now we got to see if we can hold above it. Right now, not much volume on SLGL. Everyone is over on SVRA. If the stock starts coming back on down on SVRA, we have two different options here. Either A, actually a couple different options, which makes it a little bit tricky. Either we can A, buy on the 200-day moving average. That's going to be light support. It could hold on up, but it's going to be very tricky. We could then look to buy at around the $4 area, or we could look to buy all the way back down towards around the 350 area. So notice again, like each one of these support lines get darker and darker. The darker it is, the stronger it is. Okay, just like an easy way to see. Darker it is, the stronger it is. But we have all these different lines of support. Supports at 430, supports at $4, and supports all the way back down to 350 right now. Target on this one would be that $5 area. So this is where a lot of the hype is currently looking at. Buying SVRA at this time, for the long side, is it a little bit scary? Yes, but it is profitable right now. So a little bit scary, but it is profitable right now. I am not in anything at this time. I'm obviously, you guys know me, a little bit more conservative. I'm going to be waiting for the bounce. There's definitely going to be a bounce play on this stock. There's 100% going to be a bounce play on SVRA. It's just about trying to nail it on the perfect one. And it's either going to be $4 or $3.50. It's either going to be that $4 mark or that $3.50 mark, to try to nail that perfect bounce. SLGL, right now, that's a little bit on the weaker side. A little bit of red so far. SVRA just trying to hold up above the 200-day moving average. ONTX, also a little bit of a pop. That's that 80-20 chart setup, right? That 200-day moving average. Or excuse me, that 80-20 chart setup, that masterpiece pattern. So right now, again, SVRA, I know that's where all of us are looking at still. And again, I want to see that bounce play. I would love to see the 350 bounce play just because it's so much better. Just because it's such a smart area. Let's see, and then we have all the way the old bounce play, or the old resistance. If we want to make this a little bit smaller, you'd see like these tops. Where is that at? 350. That's 320 right here, and that's probably the bottom once this line adjusts. Where's that? 320. 320 is there. I think probably 350 is going to be a little bit better, just because I don't think the stock's going from $5 to 320. I think the 350 would be a little bit better. But I definitely understand, that would be a nice old resistance area where the stock would bounce at. Right now, again, SVRA is just trying to consolidate and hold its gains. Right now, SLGL, I told you one stock. I told you one stock was probably going to turn into a big red candle, and it looks like right now SLGL's that play, right? Told you one stock's going to turn into a big red candle, and so far SLGL's that play. We'll see if it can hold on up. Came all the way down towards around $18 so far. If it starts cracking $18, things can get pretty ugly on that. Still, again, great buyers over on SVRA. I would still watch SLGL to see if it could U-shape up and around. So if that stock could start U-shaping up and around, that's where we could start seeing, a nice pop and maybe a possible red to green move, right? So right now, SVRA still number one play to hold on to, and this stock is setting itself up in what? A little bit of a bull flag pattern, right? We do have a little bit of a bull flag pattern set up right now, and we do want to see if that is going to be able to break on out. Getting a little bit archy though. Getting a little bit archy. SAVA, little side note, guys. I'm going to put SAVA on the bottom level too. This is a previous top gainer from last week against Supernova play, where this stock did have insider buying. So SAVA is, trying to get a little bit of momentum towards it. I'm still, again, looking for the perfect bounce on SVRA. And as I said, that perfect bounce is either going to be at $4 or, again, that 350-ish mark. I think 350 is going to be a little bit better, but it's going to be a little bit more of a wait for that to happen. So we do have a little bit of SAVA action. SLGL, we have to look for that red to green move if you're interested on that. Well, people having problems with TOS, so again, be careful on that. Let me type out again, what stocks are moving at this time. What we have right here. Again, stocks to watch, right? We're going to have SVRA watching for a 350 bounce, right? We have SAVA, previous top gainer, bringing in volume, right? After that, we are going to be seeing SLGL watch for a red to green move, right? ONTX, small volume. So these are the top plays that are bringing in some hype right now. Top plays at the moment, trying to bring in a little bit of momentum, trying to bring in a little bit of hype right here. Also, again, add that to the list. SVRA, I just want that one to crack. Let me check out NIO. NIO trying to get a little bit of hype. That 200-day moving average, if it falls, though, again, needs to hold above. Little side note, 200-day moving average at 314. We need to hold above 314. Also, SAVA, guys, still trying to move on up. If you're saying, Deck, again, what are you waiting for? I'm waiting for SVRA on the bounce. So, again, SVRA, this stock cracks. I want to be able to grab the bounce play on it. That's really all I'm looking for. I want to be able to get a nice, easy bounce play on SVRA if this stock, crack on down. It is below its 200-day moving average right now, and again, we're looking for it to crack underneath its open, maybe scoop this play up at around 345, 350 for a bounce back up towards around like 380, and then be able to make some, nice profit on it. We got SLGL looking for a little bit of that red to green. So we do got a little bit of that red to green move, trying to U-shape up and around. But right now, we're looking for that U-shape pattern, looking for the stock to U-shape up and around to get that breakout. SAVA still moving on up as well. SAVA popping up on the breakout scanner. SAVA now again starting to get a little bit more hype towards it, starting to get a little bit of a mob shift. So again, SAVA right here, this stock starting to get a little bit of that mob shift and starting to get a little bit more hype. Right now, SVRA is just trying to hold up at around that 430-ish mark, that 200-day moving average. SAVA quick pop to $7, getting a little bit of a pullback. So we do have two stocks right now. As you guys know, all I'm looking for is I'm waiting for the crack and the possible dump on SVRA for me to get in. Whoa, big order right here. SVRA, someone's trying to keep this stock up. 580K shares, 550K shares. Look at this, 550K shares. Someone's putting over $2 million on SVRA right now, trying to keep this stock up and alive. So someone's trying to put up $2 million in on this play. 521,000 shares. You guys see him popping in and out. I don't know if this is going to hold up as a real order, but I saw that. I'm like, whoa, that's a huge order, right? So someone's trying to keep SVRA alive at the moment and keep the stock going on up. So keep your eyes peeled on that right there. 500,000 share order. Someone's trying to keep the stock up and alive. It could be a possible spoof order where it's just some rich guy trying to keep the stock up. Or again, imagine if he started just market ordering in like 10,000 shares at a time. This thing could possibly run all the way back up to $5. So right here, SVRA. No, but again, when you put in one big order like that, it would be all the same person. Then it would come up as multiple orders. So again, how there's like 3 orders, 2 orders, 1 order right here. So it maybe could be 1 or 2 people, but it's probably most likely one guy or maybe 2 guys. But regardless, I mean, 500,000 shares being bought. That is huge. So right now, SVRA trying to make a little bit of a U shape right here. SVRA trying to get a little bit of a U shape at this time. Yes, Scott, that was me. Just pulling out $2 million, helping you guys out, saying SVRA, here we go. So again, I want to see if SVRA, the stock trying to move on up. Little sino ONTX doesn't have much volume towards it, but ONTX does have that 80-20 chart set up, perfect squeeze pattern on that stock. We haven't had that big drop on SVRA yet, right? We haven't had that big drop on SVRA yet. SVRA is trying to get some big buyers towards it. We're currently testing the VWAP, right? If you look at this, currently testing the VWAP on SVRA right around that 447 mark. So have we had a couple little dips right here? Yes, but we haven't had like the big crash and the big bounce yet, right? We haven't had the big crash and the big bounce yet. And that's what I want to see. I want to see the big crash. I want to see this thing dump on off, and I want people to say, okay, I'll buy down this low. Let's see if that 500K guy comes back in around that 525 mark. We are having some complaints over on TD Ameritrade today. And here's the SVRA. Here's SVRA getting a little bit of a crack. Again, $4 is the first line of support, but I actually want to see a crack underneath that, to be completely honest. So I want to see how low this thing could possibly get. See if this can move on up a little bit more. Keep on going down. SVRA still dropping, still dropping. Yeah, I want this a little bit lower. Some people may be looking for a little bit of entries right here, but we still want it a little bit lower. There's 2 different areas. Again, either 345, and it really comes down to you. We look at pre-market right here. We look at pre-market, and it's either going to, as you can see, it's starting to get a little crack. Is it going to bounce at the top right here at 350, or is it bouncing at the bottom down to 320? Right? And see, and I'm looking back here. Notice again, top, 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 support, support, support. So it's either bouncing, it's going to bounce at the top at 350 or 320. Those are, again, the 2 different areas. You can see also from past chart history pattern, we do have the top right here at 320, but again, 320 is a little bit longer away. So again, it comes down to those 2. $4 is getting cracked now, which is good. It's either going to be the top at 350 or back down towards around 320 for SVRA's bounce. So that's what we've been waiting for on that play. SAVA having a little SAVA giving a lot back right here. This big upper shadow. This could signify we could be at the top. Maybe some possible shorts for the next for a swing possibly on SAVA. As again, if the stock does close with that big upper shadow, that is where this thing's gonna be coming back on down. So we do want to see if this play over on SVRA SVRA still again coming on down just slightly. right now we're just trying to hold on up here over on SVRA. Now again, getting a little bit lower. SVRA starting to come on down. All right, here we go back down towards around 350. So we have our first line coming on up. And again, as I said, it's either going to be 350 or 320. As again, two different marks right here. Right now, where's SLGL at? Ooh, look at SLGL. SLGL. Yeah, that one just came out with a big drop. Big drop right there on SLGL. As we talked about, guys, we need to be careful, right? We need to be careful today and play only where the volume's at. No secret plays, right? No secret sauce plays. We need to play where all the volume's at. We need to play where all the momentum's at. And why do I say that? Well, because people are all going to want to get involved with the same stock. We have what? We have off on Wednesday. New Year's Eve is tomorrow. New Year's going up on Wednesday, guys. People are going to be trading what? All the same play. And if you guys are not in on that play, that's where you can end up taking a loss. All right, so right here, we are still watching for that SVRA bounce because we can look right here. We still do not have that SVRA green candle bounce yet. We're still waiting for that pullback and then, getting the bounce right there. I probably will get in along that so I probably will get in along that 350-ish mark, just to get in on the stock and look for that little bounce play. Just because I want to. I mean, I don't want to say that and then not get in, and then I see a little bit of a crack and want to go 320. Right now, it's just trying to hold. We haven't had that big bounce yet, though. We haven't had that big bounce yet on SVRA. I still want this thing coming on down. The thing is, it's smarter to wait till 320 because that's where that old spiking high is, and the old spiking high would represent, what? That old spiking high would represent old resistance, which would be new support. But again, we also have some old resistance at 350ish. MAXR trying to get a little hype, a little sign out. You are right next to pre-market highs. Pre-market highs 1750, and then you have SAVA. SAVA trying to get a little bit of a U-shaped pattern right here. Right now, SVRA looking for any sort of break, any sort of momentum. Still want this one to come back on down. Is there a trend line on SAVA? Let me see. 1 minute time. I'm not really seeing too much of a trend line. This more is a spike, dump, trying to get more volume towards it. So we kind of have a spike, dump. Now again, people trying to move back in on that play. I'm not really seeing too much of a trend line. SVRA again. I'm still waiting for this one to fall a little bit more. And again, looking for just a nice bounce play this morning, right? If we could go through our top gainers together. Let's go through our top gainers together. SVRA, we already know. We're looking for the bounce at either 350 or 320. SLGL. SLGL, this is what I talked about. One of them was going to turn into an SAEX, right? One of them was going to turn into an SAEX. One of them was going to dump off. One of them was going to fall right here, right? Over on SAEX. We knew that was going to happen. And SLGL, turns into that play right here. After that, SAVA, we're waiting for the $7 break on SAVA. SITO, not really too much volume yet. ONTX, that stock just trying to stay above the 50-day moving average on the little 80-20 squeeze pattern. Let's see right here. LLEX, not too much. Nope, 500,000. Great question. If you don't know, I'm happy to help. Absolutely. That's why I'm here. If you guys don't know the answer to something, I'm happy to help you guys out. All right, so right now going through our top gainers, as I said, SVRA, bounce play 350 or 320, SLGL dumping on off, SITO not enough volume, SAVA waiting for the $7 break, ONTX needs to hold above the 50-day moving average, and then again everything else is a little bit lighter. Okay, everything else is a little bit lighter then. MAXR currently testing what? If you look over back at a 2-minute time frame, pre-market highs, right? Pre-market highs, they're going to be right there up towards around that 1750-ish mark. The 1750-ish mark. SVRA still trying to fight a little bit. VWAP is holding the stock up though. Right now we're about 20 minutes into the market. Nothing too crazy at this time. 20 minutes into the market. And again, that's why I just wanted to put this. Don't want to cover up the whole screen. But again, today's just going to be like last week. News is limited. Holiday week coming on up, right? What we want to do is look at the top gainers and low float. Once you find about the first 5 stocks, let's watch the high of the day momentum scanner and see what the mob brings in. And as you guys know, there's no afternoon trading commentary until Thursday, right? As I want you guys trading in the morning. This is when we have hot volume. This is when we have the most traders here. I'm here all day, but we want to be trading in the morning on our Fridays, or excuse me, on until we get to 2020. SVRA, small little bounce still. Small little bounce. Any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. And I'll be more than happy to help you guys out, of course, with anything that you guys need. So any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. But right now, if you're saying, Deck, what do you want? What are you looking at? I'm really just still waiting for that big fall on SVRA to get my bounce. That's where I'm honestly looking for my money today. So that's where I'm just looking for my money today. As you guys know, as we move to 2020, the big thing that everyone is asking me about is when are you opening up the $100,000 account and going from there? That's probably going to be starting up mid-January. Okay, so that's probably starting up right around mid-January, guys. And as you guys know, that's going to be live streamed, everything road to 1 million. That's probably the biggest, most fun, most crazy challenge we have ever done, and that's coming up within less than a month. So that's going to be probably the best thing we have ever done. It's going to be so much fun, not only to participate in, but also to watch, just crazy amounts of money being thrown around. So I cannot wait for that. A lot of hype, a lot of excitement behind that. Right now, SVRA, just want that thing to crack. Come on, give me that good crack, SVRA. Dump on off, right? There's so many traders here. People are going to bounce you regardless. So we want to see that thing, really just dump on off, get low, get weak, and get that bounce. SAVA, small little bull flag pattern. Maybe again, watch for a little bit of a U shape to see if the stock could break back above $7. $500,000. Is there a place where you can find all the whole reasons and explanations? The only thing you would have is again, the NASDAQ trader halt right here. And it says reason codes, LUDP, which would be a validity. You can see M right here. Market validity halt. This is a T1 halt, which is news pending. T12 halt, which is information required. So if you just go to NASDAQtrader.com and you look up the halts, it'll give you the code reasoning if it's too hot or if there's news coming on up or if they're halted, a T12 halted and needs company news. So here's the link for that right here. And that would show you everything. SAVA just got a crack. SAVA just cracked on off a little bit. So again, right now, we're still looking for SVRA to get its crack to get a little bit of a bounce play. I will say, if SVRA starts breaking $4, though, this would be the only stock. This would be the only stock right now that I would know that is U-shaping and trying to move its way back on up. So I kind of have two different options here. Either A, wait for a bounce play, or B, at the re-break of that $4 mark, look for a re-breaks $4 since SAVA is falling, since SLGL is falling, since ONTX is falling, since all these stocks are falling. If SVRA, the number one top gainer in the market, starts getting hype, people are probably going to start sprinting back over there. Right now, SVRA looking a little bit weaker. And again, I'm still looking for my bounce play there. Coming back down. Here's the first line, most likely coming back down towards around that 350-ish mark. And again, we got 350 for a possible bounce, and we also have all the way down to 320. And it really just comes down on personal preference on the chart on what you like a little bit more. LK, yeah, LK, a little bit of a drop right there. SAVA guys starting to get ugly. SAVA talking about with those shorts, and look at this, SAVA long upper shadow. What do we talk about? Climbing up the mountain. You climb up the mountain, what do? Put a flag at the top, and again, that flag represents as a nice long pole right here, and it usually starts going down the other side. So SAVA, quick morning spike, but has that big pole at the top right here. SVRA, PYX unhalted. That's not kind of a little bit of a pop this morning. Just got unhalted. I know that's probably what you meant, Ranger, with PYV, but PYX, just a little heads up. Right now, SVRA starting to come on down towards around that 350-ish mark. And again, this comes down to you. Do you want 350 or do you want something a little bit lower than 350 on SVRA? So let's see if VRA is going to be able to hold that 350 mark, or is it going to crack underneath it? Because we have 350, which we've been talking about. If you guys just got filled on that, again, that's great. And again, if it goes below 350, it would be around that 320-ish mark, which I talked about. PYX also trying to get a little bit of movement. That just got unhalted, as Ranger was saying. I will put that on the bottom level too. That's trying to hold above that 200-day moving average. SVRA so far, trying to hold the little 350 bounce. So far, 350 bounce has been the best one, though. Look at that. The 350 bounce back up to 380. So I got a little bit of that bounce play so far. Little bit of the bounce so far. The 350 mark, if you guys got filled on that, all the way back up towards around that 380-ish mark. I know it's probably hard to get filled right around 350. I think it came down to what? 352 was the low of the day. So 352, 354, anywhere around that area would have been perfect. But I know, again, not the easiest one to get into. Right now, PYX went on a quick spike, then came back on down. Give me 1 second, team. Just don't want to be rude here. Still battling a little bit of that cold. I feel like someone's holding my nose right here, and that's why I'm talking like I'm like having a snorkel on. So give me one moment at this time. Right now, guys, you can see SVRA trying to get a little bit of that hype. Notice again, the stock is trying to U-shape up and around right here. So that 350 bounce was that perfect area so far. Now coming all the way back up to that $4 mark. It's a little bit tough because why? Because that was that perfect bounce play opportunity over on SVRA. Again, didn't even come down to 350. It was that 352-ish mark. But SVRA right here, nice job if you guys got in on this play at all. But again, these are kind of what I'm always looking for. The top gainer is always going to have a big bounce towards it, right? Top gainers are always just going to have a nice big bounce towards it. And, if you can spot that perfect bounce play, if you can nail that perfect bounce play, you guys are going to be able to make some nice money. And it doesn't matter, again, if you guys make $1 with the stock spiking or if you make, $1 on the stock on a bounce play. It's still the same amount of money, right? So you can see right here, SVRA, this thing is getting volume back towards it. It's trying to get back above $4 and stay above $4 right now. And it's been a great bounce from 350. Now, if you say, well, Deck, if the stock comes back down to 350, do I look for a bounce play? Well, what do we know? The more you bounce on support, the weaker it gets. So you can't just keep bouncing on it. You always want to look for the first bounce play as it is a little bit stronger. So SVRA trying to work its way back on up right here. And this stock is trying to get a little bit of momentum as the stock is trying to push now. And look at, we are starting to get some hype towards it now as the stock's re-breaking that $4 mark. And now all the way up towards around that 420-ish area. So SVRA, this is the number one top stock of this morning. It was the number one most watched play. It's one of the only stocks that is actually trying to hold its gains, right? SLGL, faded off pretty hard. SITO, not really much volume on that play. ONTX, that stock doesn't have much volume. SAVA, that stock dumped, right? So a lot of these stocks did what? A lot of these stocks had potential this morning, did morning spikes, then came back on down. Right now, SVRA is trying to get a little bit of hype to, push all the way back up to where? That $5 area. That's where, again, this stock really wants to go up to. PYX, this stock is also trying to get a little bit of hype towards it as well. So right now, we have SVRA, still number one. Still number one stock I would focus on if I were you. And right now, it's just a very, very jumpy play. Very jumpy stock right now. But SVRA is where you want to be looking if you're interested on a trade. SLGL, still trying to make a little bit of that U shape. I mean, it's on a downtrend, yes, but maybe a re-break of the VWAP, it could get a little bit more momentum, right? Break of the VWAP, you may be able to get a little bit more momentum. You may be able to get a little bit more popping towards it. SVRA. Minkable in at 350. Hey, there you go. Awesome work. Awesome job. So again, another great play right there. Now, again, if it comes back down to 350 and says, oh, should I get in on the stock here? Well, again, that's where you have to battle yourself and say, hey, do I want 350 or back down towards more around that 320-ish area now? Or is it going to try to hold that VWAP, right? So that was kind of the main bounce I was looking for. And, just a little bit shy. I was just a little bit shy there. But that was the main bounce that I was looking for. Right now, PYX, and let's just type out a little bit of, stocks to watch. So again, we have stocks to watch. What we have here is SVRA 420 resistance with $4 support. Still trying to hold on up. PYX. PYX just had a pretty strong pullback right there, guys. PYX, hot stock at this time, but very jumpy and very risky. As you can see, all the craziness going on with that play, right? We also have what? Do anything over here? SLGL, right? Watch for the rebreak of $20. SLGL. Watch for the rebreak of $20 as that stock could possibly get some momentum towards it. And I think those are kind of like the top ones. SAVA, again, if you want to look for a bounce, you could, on Rapids right there. I personally don't feel comfortable with that. So I'm just going to still be watching over SVRA. So we got SVRA, SLGL, and those are kind of the top ones. And the PYX is again, pretty choppy right here. So SVRA still trying to hold its gains at this moment. And if you want to, again, the VWAP is where? The VWAP's at 395. So if you're saying, Deck, this stock may be able to hold and possibly go on a nice rip and run, and there's definitely, some truth to that, but it needs to hold the VWAP now. If it goes back underneath the VWAP of 395, that's going to show weakness. So what you could do, again, if you guys are really interested, is look for an entry right here at 395. Starting to get a little bit weaker right now as I'm speaking, but if it can hold above the VWAP, that stock could possibly, continue to move on up and possibly get a little bit of momentum towards it, right? So right here, SVRA is trying to hold the VWAP, and as long as it holds the VWAP, it is considered what? On the bullish side, right? It is considered on the bullish side. So if it can hold that VWAP, I mean, we're still considered on the bullish side right here, and we may be able to, move on up. We may be able to get a little bit of a climb. So maybe we could look for a small, entry over on SVRA. If you're saying, hey, you know what, I'll get in at 398 and my stop loss would be at the VWAP or at like 392. If you want to do something very small like that, that has a lot of reward with very limited risk, right? What's the limited risk? Well, if you get in right now at 397 and the stock goes down to 390, get out with a 6 to 7 cent loss. Or if the stock holds and runs all the way up towards, 420, you could be able to make some profit, right? So that would be something if you guys are interested on it. And I'm, definitely checking that out. That definitely has, potential towards it. And I just want to see if that's going to be able to hold though. The thing is, it's the number one top gainer, most watched stock. All right, right now trying to hold that 395 mark still. It's battling, getting a little bit weak. Again, all I'm doing is watching the level 2 right here. Bids at 393, 392, 391. Oh, again, a little bit weaker still. So it's a good idea, but still again trying to hold on up. Let's see here. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it on maybe just like 500, 600 shares, see what it can do. It's battling though to try to stay up and above because I don't see much much else that's 100% clear cut. And you're saying, well, why SVRA if it's having trouble at the VWAP? Just because again, this is the number one top gainer in pre-market, number one top gainer in penny stocks, number one top gainer in all the stock market today. So if a stock's going to take on off, if a stock's going to spike, if a stock's going to go on a big time rip today, it's most likely going to be SVRA. That's going to be the most consistent one, right? Because as we know, it's like PYX, this spike on up, yes, but it also comes back down, and it's also again a little bit scary. So right here, SVRA, keeping this one on watch. And you can see that stock come and just shoot all the way back on up. Now, for some reason, I try to do a small little order right here on SVRA, and I'm not getting filled on E Trade. Like I'm clicking buy, and nothing is coming up. Buy, nothing. Buy, nothing. So I'm not sure what's going on with my E Trade account right here because I know TD Ameritrade was having problems. SVRA market order 600 shares. ARCA buy. Nothing's coming up on my order status. Changes to auto buy. Nothing coming on up. So for some reason, E-Trade's giving me some trouble right here. I just want to show you guys this. I don't want you guys to think I'm just saying I can't get filled. I'm clicking this. Look at that. Clicking as much as I can. Nothing's happening. So for some reason, I am not getting filled at all on SVRA, and that is a little bit odd. Yeah, I mean that's true. Imagine you get filled and that's happening with the sell. So I'm not sure what's going on with my E-Trade right now. I know some people said they were having some issues on TD Ameritrade, but the last thing I hope, I don't hope though, is that I just click buy like 30 times. Hopefully not within like 10 minutes, all of a sudden there's like 30 orders that come up. So right here, as I said, I try to get in, but for some reason, it will allow me to do a market order. Let's try to do a market order. Let's just do it. I just want to see if I can get filled. So let's go 350. I just want to see if it even comes up. 350. Let's go back to Arca. Let's just do, yeah, we'll do 500 shares. Just see if this will get filled. Buy. Nothing even coming up my order stats right here. So nothing coming on up. And I'm not sure what's going on right now with E-Trade acting up, getting a little buggy. So my E-Trade now getting a little glitchy. What's going on over there? That's a little odd. So E-Trade not allowing me to put any orders in. Are you guys having any sort of, those problems as well? Again, Bruce, I use Arca for all my orders. So Arca is between 7 a.m. Again, it doesn't matter if it's Arca or Auto. Again, right now you can see, I'm clicking buy 100 times, nothing's happening. But I use Arca on all my orders. So yeah, for some reason, my E-Trade account right here is acting up. That's a little bit odd because now I can't get into the play that I kind of want to get in on. Right? So, I'm trying to get in on the play, and it allowed me before. As you can see, I had the canceled order at 347, 500 shares that never got filled. So it allowed me to put something before, but for some reason, none of my orders are going through right now. No, 500,000. You don't got to buy anything. I'm sure, again, it may just be on my end at this moment. But yeah, if anything, I'd probably have to restart my E-Trade. Maybe that could help. But if I restart it, the live stream will go down for a few moments. Faith Trader having some E-Trade issues. Yeah, I'm just gonna, in case anything ever does come up, right click, cancel all saved orders. So yeah, we're just gonna cancel all orders even if they do come on up, so I don't get destroyed. So yeah, I'm having a little bit of trouble right there on my E-Trade account, but I still think, again, SVRA. I still think, again, you got good potential on that play. Have a stop loss maybe at like 390, 389, and just maybe hold. Give it about 8 cents, but you're still above the VWAP. You're still above the VWAP at this time. So right now, SVRA, still watching this play. Jim, TOS, do you set it to Arca? No, I just have it on day. I just have it on normal day. All right, let's go through our top gainers. What do we have? SVRA, we already know. SIGL starting to come on down. I'm going to try to put an order on a different stock, just see if that comes on up. Let's see here. SIGL, that's starting to fall. SITO, not there yet. ONTX. ONTX still trying to fight. SAVA, a little bit of that bounce. I know Rapid was looking at that before. And as we talked about, if you're saying, Deck, where's the consistency right now? Why are these stocks not holding up? Why are we not seeing anything break out and hold? Just as we said, we're still in that holiday week, right? Last week we had Christmas Eve and Christmas. This week we have New Year's Eve and New Year's. After New Year's is over on Wednesday, we're in 2020 and we're set, right? So after, again, that's all over with, New Year's, then we're in 2020. We're back on our regular schedule. We're back with regular trading. We're back with regular volume, right? And that's how it works a lot of times. A lot of people during these holidays, some people are still, again, celebrating Christmas or now getting ready for New Year's, right?